Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
क्या बोलोगे?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
थैंक यू बाय जाना है
जाएगा फिर डिस्कस करेगा।
Piyush, Piyush Kumar.
लगा लीजिए कम बैटरी गुड आफ्टरनून मैम गुड आफ्टरनून मैम
तो मछलियों को और सबसे बढ़िया उन इंसानी बच्चों को में ठूस कर बाहर आया।
वॉइस इज नॉट कमिंग झूठ बोल रहा ना
अभी तो वो भैया थोड़ा उसको पता ले जाएगा। तो है उनके बारे में
आफ्टरनून मैम
मैम आवाज क्लियर नहीं आ रहा है। मैम म्यूट ऑल।
की आवाज नहीं आ रही है
मैम आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
मजा आ रही है मैम आवाज नहीं आ रहा है।
अर्नब राज सिंह की तरफ से के घर से आ रहा है आवाज। It is coming from his home. Something is going on the background.
Yes, ma'am.
मैम पीयूष कुमार
Place where there is
मैम
no
हर्षमित
disturbance.
अरे गौंडा में देख
Now, Omkar, are you in class 7B?
बतलू ना
Omkar,
यस मैम
in class 7B.
यस मैम
And one student of your class is Aman. Please help him out because he has not completed his work.
ओके मैम यस मैम
Just lesson wise you display, you just send the question answer from the first lesson because he has
Okay, ma'am.
just now he has called. Ashmit,
मैम बट आई डिडंट हैव हिज नंबर
you don't have his number. You can.
नो मैम
Okay, I'll send you on your personal
ओके मैम
then you can give it. And Harsh,
ओके
kindly don't disturb the class. And one student is without the name being connected over here. I want to know his name. Please don't get connected without name. Now, after that, then I'll try to find out who is that person without the name getting connected over here. Today we will, Ronit, Now, we will talk about this chapter. Yesterday we discussed about the composition of the soil. Still your screen is open, Ronit. So, yesterday we discussed that in composition of the soil, we discussed that the living organisms are a very important factor that helps in the making up of the soil, in which I talked about the earthworm. Now, in that we discussed about vermicomposting. Tell me how many of you have understood this vermicomposting? Understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. The forming composite with the help of various worms, usually red worm, white worm, and other worm is known as vermicompositing.
Harshmita, I have not asked you to read it out. I am telling you, listen once again. Vermicomposting is the placing or the development of the, you can say, cultivation of the this earthworm. Either it is a red worm or a different types of worms are there that they are introduced in the soil, or although they are growing naturally over there in the soil because that is their habitat, but they are placed, they are additionally they are added in the soil to make it nutritive because it has its nutrient as its, and then it allows it just excretes the oil as a facial matter, and then that facial matter which is added to the soil, that is very nutritive. And this type of addition, if it is done for any purpose to enhance the nutrients of the soil, then that is known as vermicomposting. That means the farmers, they collect the
The forming composite with the help of various worms, usually red worm, white worm, and other earthworm is known as vermicompositing.
Shivam Kumar, stop reading. I have not told you to read. I have listen first. So here we are talking that vermicomposting is allowed to develop, the earthworm is allowed to develop in that type of soil which is useful, or in which we are going to cultivate some crops or some plants, then to enhance the nutrition, adding extra soil in the extra earthworms in this soil. And there is different types of species of this compost, that is red ringlers and red earthworms also are present in this.
What is the meaning of dead sufficient?
Today's topic is soil as a resource. Now, children, resource meaning I have told you before also. Can anybody tell me what I have told you in the previous class? What is the meaning of resource? What is the meaning of resource? Anybody? Resource meaning? So let's listen. So resource is that type of, you can say, material or thing that is utilized for any purpose. And Harsh Jaswal, go to that corner of your house in which you don't have any disturbance. So this resource is that type of material in which that is utilized by human being for their own beneficial purpose. So how can we say that soil is a resource? Soil is a resource not only for growing plant, for many of the other things, other purposes also, other also. What are those purposes? It is a critical component for mining and construction industries. Like we all know that the bricks are made out of the soil only. So it is a very important component of this construction industry. Soil involves or we utilize it for road, for dam building, for mining. And earth is also, means the soil, the undersurface of the soil is also useful for sheltering. It is a habitat. Sheltering means giving protection to live. Shelter means that. So here we are building houses with the help of this soil or mud, you can say, and this is also a habitat for most of the many of the animals. And what these animals are your habit, rabbit, pig, earthworm. These all are your animals which are surviving inside the soil. Soil, it is also a good absorbent of rainwater, and that is why we can get, if this rainwater was not absorbed, then it would have drained again into the oceans. Then what would happen? The water which we utilize throughout the year, that would not be stored, and it is this soil only that preserves the rainwater, and that water we dig it and take it out as a source of our water. Then this also protects us from flood and drought. So how flood? Because this, if there is extra water over there, then that seeps into the ground, or it is absorbed by the soil to avoid the flood and drought. The stored water is again given into the environment, and that can be either used for this, you can irrigate the fields, or it is just evaporating and it is going into the environment again and again. This water cycle is maintained. That chain of water cycle is maintained. Then after that, soil is often present at the bottom of the food chain. When we draw a food chain, we see that producers start, and the producers are where? The producers are having or taking nutrient from the soil. So the bottom of the food chain, we are having the soil, and plants and other lower animals take nutrients from the soil, and animal obtain nutrient from these plants. So the consumers utilize this plant, so they become the secondary producer, and then the primary producer is your plant. Then after that, how can we say if everything is being absorbed in the soil, then how can we say that soil gets polluted? Yes, soil also gets polluted. How? Because nowadays we are seeing that we are not having pure drinking water. And to get pure drinking water, Abhinay Kumar, if you want to hear, you hear it attentively. Abhinay, close your screen sharing. Then, here, soil is defined as the presence of toxic compound. How is, from where has this toxic compound come? It is pure. When it is broken from the, formed by the withering up of rocks, then that is the pure form. But we, the human being, make it impure or toxic. How? We are adding so many types of fertilizers and chemicals for the growth, more and more growth of the plant. And they are getting seep, or after getting utilized by the plant, due to heavy rain shower, it is dissolving and it is going into the ground. And that ground absorbs that, along with the water molecules, it absorbs all those toxic materials. And that, in course of time, it becomes slowly and slowly, it has made our soil poisonous. So now the underground water is also not very safe for drinking. So we are utilizing so many types of purifiers. And these purifiers, what is the harm these purifiers are doing? Now people or doctors are telling that we should not take the purified water also. Why? The different types of researches are going on that purified water, what we are taking from ROs and all, that is also not a pure form, because it is washing away of the important minerals from the water, which is essential for our body. Although it is not very not in very large amount, but still it is very, very important essential mineral. So it is it should not be just drained out, or it should not be absorbed. So we should drink that those minerals also along with the water, which is a very good source, which we can get it from the water itself. So now also the researchers are going to take out another form of purifier which do not absorb these minerals. Nowadays what we are doing, that is absorbing the minerals also, and we are not getting the healthy water. So we were talking how this soil becomes toxic. The soil becomes toxic by the absorbing of the toxic materials from the surface of the soil, which we are pouring for the benefit of the plant, for to get more and more yield from the plant. Here, and apart from that toxic component, which we are utilizing in the agricultural activities, we are also using this toxic material for chemicals like the washing away of the unused material, and that is again joining the water sources which can go into the soil. Then radioactive materials, then disease-causing agent. Ultimately, where do they fall? Ultimately, they all fall inside the soil. Again, they go to the soil. So, Lakshana, just close your screen sharing. So, Lakshana, close your screen sharing. This has an adverse effect on the growth of plant and animal. Then after that, soil pollution is also caused by chemical pesticide, excessive use of fertilizers, accumulation of contaminated surface water to layers, oil and fuel dumping. Now, this oil is taken out from the deep, just inside the surface of the soil, but in course of carrying away to the market or to the different, you can say, resources or reserves where it has to be stored. In that course also, most of the oil that gets splitted or in the ocean, say, ocean level layers, or in of carrying it, again it is dumped inside. Please stop your screen sharing. Then after that, leaching of waste from landfills or direct discharge of industrial waste. What is this? The industries, they prepare different types of chemical, different types of substance, and the residual matter that outside the industries, and they are again absorbed by the soil. In that way, the soil is again and again getting the harmful substance in the form of chemicals which are not good for the soil, or which are not, you can say, it is fruitful for the soil to absorb it, but still, as it is being dumped or it is stored in the environment, the soil will
call the orbit. At this moment, it's called the revolution. It takes.
Then, after that, we are coming to the oil and crops. Yesterday also I told you, Ragnar Gadse and Shivam Kumar. If you are not interested in the class, please go.
Revolution. The earth also move around on the path called the orbit.
Noise is coming from your background. After that, we were talking on this topic, that soil and crops. In that I told you that all the soil is not of the same category. I was talking about the topic. In that I told you that in course of withering, the different types of rock form different types of soil. So different types of soil are present. Then different types of soil is suited for different types of crops also. And it is different states or different areas have got different types of soil because the original rock from where they have originated that is different. So here the soil which is obtained from a different rock will be suited for a particular type of plant or particular type of crop. Yesterday we were discussing, children, that we have got, according to the soil texture, we have got 3 types of soil. We discussed that it is sandy soil, it is clayey soil, and it is loamy soil. So this 3 category of soil will be distributed or will be seen in different parts of the country if we talk about India. Like Rajasthan will, in the areas of Rajasthan, it will have all deserts are there, so it will have sandy soil. So different type of crop will be selected to be sown over there, which requires less water for growth. Then if we talk about the plains like Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, these all areas if we talk, then it is of a different texture of the soil. Mostly in those areas we are having clay soil. Then other areas we are having loamy soil. So in the clay soil has got this capability that it can hold the water molecules. So because the soil texture is very fine. So here the clay soil will, in Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, we are having the paddy crops. Why? Because the paddy requires much of the water for its growth. And then in Punjab, Haryana, UP, these all are very good. It has got a good soil for the growth of. Punjab and Haryana is known for its pulses, like it is known for its kharif crop. Kharif pulses is included in that kharif crop, in which it is included the wheat also. So we all know that it is very good for wheat. So let us see, according to the climatic factor, what all is given. That paddy grows well in soil that are clay, as I told you, the rice, and rich in organic matter, and therefore able to retain water. Loamy soil that drains water easily are ideal for growing pulses. Then cotton grows well in well-aerated soil and also drain water easily. Hence, sandy loam or loam soil are preferred for growing cotton. Cotton trees are then grow well in sandy soil are found in large numbers in the coastal region. Because this coconut tree require, along with the sandy soil, it requires a large amount of water. So, it will more water requirement can be fulfilled by in the coastal areas because it is by the riverbed or ocean. Then, after that comes your topic, soil erosion. Now, children, all of you might be knowing about it, but still let us talk about it and then we will have a quick revision by question. Like, soil erosion is method, or you can say it is a process in which the top soil is removed by the agents like wind or water. So if a strong wind or water current is there, then the top layer is destroyed. Then what will happen? The soil will become deficient in what? Nutrients. And these, if nutrients like humus or organic substances will be washed away, then that soil will become poor in fertility. So to stop it, how can we stop this removal of top layer of soil? We have to plant more and more trees. Then we should avoid grazing of animals. than tree. What does this tree or this grass do? The tree and grass binds up the soil, makes it together, because the roots, they hold the soil for a, means there is a strength. If all the land will be barren or it will be vacant, then you will not have any trees. It will be easy for the wind or the flood to, or water current to carry away soil. This overgrazing of this grassland, which changes the grassland into desert, that should be stopped. And we should not be careless about the soil. We should plant more and more trees. Afforestation should be there. Deforestation should be avoided. And overgrazing or overuse of the land should be also prevented. And this, if we are following all these processes, then we will see that there will be, we can protect the soil to some extent. Now, children, how many, anyone who has not understood this topic, any topic, you can ask me. कोई बच्चा कोई टॉपिक पर फिर से डिस्कशन चाहता है? Anybody?
Soil as a resource.
Soil as a resource. Just now I told you that we are utilizing soil not only for the growth of the plant, but we are utilizing it in other way also. So that is, what are they? For building dams, for construction, for mining, then for shelter. Then we are also having this soil as the habitat for many animals. So we are utilizing it in many purposes. That is why it is known as a resource for different types of activities. So we are telling that it is as working as a resource. Okay. Anybody? Anybody else who wants me to discuss any topic again?
No, ma'am.
चलो, और फिर हम लोग इसमें आप लोग को ये हाँ बोलो।
मैम सॉइल फॉर्मेशन एक बार बता दीजिए ना।
Soil formation.
यस मैम।
ठीक है। Now, listen. पहले एक चीज समझ लो।
मैम 2000 मैम पेज 9 में नो मैम साइंस में कितना चैप्टर हो गया है?
क्या?
थर्ड।
साइंस में क्या बोल रहे हो पीयूष?
मैम साइंस में कितना चैप्टर हुआ है?
अब इतना तो अभी हम काउंट नहीं किए हैं, लेकिन हम लोग लास्ट तक अभी आ गए हैं। 13 चैप्टर इज द लास्ट चैप्टर ऑफ दिस टर्म। 13th भी आप कंप्लीटेड। 10, 11, 12, 13 तक हम लोग कर लिए हैं, ठीक है। और
ओके मैम।
7th चैप्टर था, ऐसे हम काउंट नहीं किया। आई थिंक इट इज 10 chapters are there, I think so. Or yesterday I have told you also that which chapters are there for your first term. So one of you are asking about formation of soil. First of all, you just imagine that 1 inch of the soil, making of 1 inch of the soil takes 500 years. You just imagine that. So the soil process of making of soil is a very, very continuous process. Like the rocks are there, bigger pieces of rocks that is there in the mountains. Due to certain activities of physical activities or chemical activities, they get broken up. And this breaking up of the soil is known as withering. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? इसको withering बोलते हैं. Withering is the process which we can make up the soil. So what is withering? The breaking up of the rock particles. अब ये बताओ कि क्या एक दिन में पूरा रॉक पार्टिकल ब्रेक हो जाएगा? Is it possible?
No, ma'am.
नहीं पॉसिबल है कि एक दिन में रॉक पार्टिकल ब्रेक कर जाए। और वो soil में convert हो जाए? No. It is a continuous process and it takes 500 years to produce 1 inch of soil. So just imagine how slow that process is and how important our soil is. Clear? So this formation of the soil takes place slowly and gradually. Then what are the factors which are present there in the formation of the soil? There are two categories of the factors. First is the physical factors, which is known as physical withering, and second is the chemical factor, which is known as chemical withering. ठीक है? तो फर्स्ट फिजिकल विदरिंग में आप लोग पेज नंबर 146 निकाल कर देख सकते हो. उसमें टॉपिक क्या क्या है, क्या कौन कौन सा चीज उसको बनने में आप कह सकते हो हेल्प करता है, मदद करता है. तो फर्स्ट इज योर टेम्परेचर, मीन्स टेम्परेचर ऑफ द एनवायरमेंट, सराउंडिंग का टेम्परेचर. दूसरा क्या है, वाटर. तीसरा विंड, और चौथा क्या है, प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स. So one by one we will come to the topic. Temperature of the environment varies day to day. Day to day आपका टेम्परेचर वैरी करता है. तो जब आपका एक दिन का टेम्परेचर दूसरे दिन के टेम्परेचर से अलग होगा तो पूरे साल का टेम्परेचर एक एरिया के लिए अलग होगा, दूसरे एरिया के लिए अलग होगा ना. तो ये टेम्परेचर फैक्टर जो है वो आपके इस रॉक पर बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट देता है. क्या इम्पैक्ट देता है कि जब बहुत ज्यादा हीटेड होता है अर्थ सरफेस तो इसमें क्रैक्स और क्रेविसेस, क्रैक्स का मतलब होता है कहीं से वो ब्रेक कर जाता है. इट इज नॉट वेरी हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता. Just pay attention. So this variation in the temperature make the surface of the rocks weaker and they gradually break apart. और धीरे धीरे उसमें क्रैक्स होगा, क्रैक्स बड़ा होते जाएगा, उसमें प्लांट्स और एनिमल्स ग्रो करने लगेगा, उसमें और उस प्लांट्स और एनिमल्स क्या करेंगे, उसके डिफरेंट स्मॉलर क्रैक्स या वेरी माइन्यूट क्रैक्स को बिगर बना देगा आपके रूट्स के एक्सपेंशन से. और विंड क्या करेगा, जब वो थोड़ा मतलब पार्टिकल्स कमजोर हो जाएगा, एक दूसरे से बॉन्डिंग कमजोर हो जाएगा, तो टॉरेंशियल रेन्स और वाटर जो उस एरिया में उस रॉक पर पड़ रहा है वो क्या करेगा, उसको ब्रेक करने में मदद. और धीरे धीरे जब वो पार्टिकल्स छोटा होते जाएगा then that will have an effect on the surface of the rocks and they will carry these rocks from one place to the other. And wind will have a very important or aggressive action on this particles of the rocks, and they will carry, with the help of the wind, they will be carried from one place to the other. The plants and animals which are growing on the surface of these rocks, like mosses, grasses, trees, small shrubs, they will pour their secretion, they will expand their roots in these cracks or crevices, and that will help in, you can say, breaking up of the rocks apart. Then after that comes your chemical weathering. Chemical weathering, the chemicals are added by the growth of these plants and animals which are surviving on these rocks. And after that, the solvent action of the water. These plants or animals which are growing on the rock surfaces, you just imagine the nature. Huge mountains are there and the current of the ocean or the river is flowing by. And the smaller pieces of rocks are scattered here and there. What happens to it? The solvent action of the water dissolves some of the particles, some of the soil particles, which are very smaller, and they can get it carried to from one place to the other, because it is connected to the sea, and the seas, ocean seas are connected to the rivers, and they get blown away by the wind also, by the water also, and they are carried from one place to the other. इज इट क्लियर? इतना ही आपका सॉइल फॉर्मेशन, ठीक है? इसमें और कोई डाउट? एनी डाउट? एनीबॉडी?
नो मैम।
ओके, तो आप लोग आ जाइए आज इस टॉपिक, जो टॉपिक आज हम लोग पढ़े हैं, सॉइल एज ए रिसोर्स। Question we will discuss. Now, which is present at the bottom of the food chain? Substance which is present at the bottom of the food chain.
Soil.
Soil. Now, what impact does the polluted soil gives on the growth of the does the polluted soil gives to the growth of the plants?
Ma'am, please repeat.
Adverse effect on plant fruit and animal health.
What impact does the polluted soil gives to the plants and animals?
Chemicals.
Anybody? It will give adverse effect on the plants and animals.
Soil formation.
What soil formation? I am asking Aditi that what impact will the polluted soil give on the plants and animals? So it will give an adverse effect. Bad effect also you can say, but appropriate word is adverse effect. Which soil is required for paddy, for the growth of paddy? Which type of soil is required for the growth of paddy? Huh?
Clay soil.
Clay soil.
Yes.
Clay soil.
Clay soil.
Cotton grows well in dash soil.
Sandy soil.
Soil.
Loamy soil.
Well erected soil.
It is well aerated soil. Yes, Lumi is correct, but you appropriate word is well aerated. Which area or which region is suited for the growth of coconut plant?
Loamy soil.
Sandy
Coastal
soil
region. Coastal
in
region.
coastal region.
I'm asking region, so you will
Coastal
say
region.
coastal region.
Coastal region.
What are the factors that affect the nature of the soil? What are the factors that affect the nature of the soil? Hello?
Chemical pesticide.
Exclusive use of
Excessive fertilizer.